So this is C++ converting from PC to Android, kind of like the GCC style on Windows. To build a basic game with the basic systems that are all in place already, but there's like nothing built, so we have to build it out without having to go through all the other basics. I'm not in the right project, but this is one of the right projects, kind of like your base setups, like how you would start a lot of the things. So for font rendering, you have to load free typelib, git clone it. Damn it, it included this file here. Like, what am I supposed to do? Have just a different extension? This file is not a part of CMake though. I could just exclude everything. And I need to like clean this file up. This is the PC version of the file. So we need to just have a loading screen. Just draw a basic quad. A lot of it starts just doing a lot of game operating system housekeeping. Loading screen, main menu, game UI, and game pad UI. Kind of have to separate those two. And we'll just start and draw some quads. So the hardest thing, just do the very basic first. So we have a texture loader. There is a few messes here. See how there's like load texture 2 and texture asset 2. Whoops. The pretype also has a little mess behind it. I was supposed to load it through memory, but I went in and drilled into the code and made that work anyway, a different way. So we see that the FPS is updating. If we press stuff, yeah, but it doesn't forward the keys on Android here. That's another thing we can do, is forward the keys. So it's like a PC Play Store for PC game also. So it's kind of like I'm writing it 2 times for PC. It could be also 3 times because Steam, Visual Studio, GCC M1, just the scratch, and then the C++ Android or Google Play. So we have like a really basic class. There's render. There's another subclass within it. For some reason, I'm not accounting yet for Windows touchscreens. I should just get a touchscreen just so I can mess with that. It'll just be another crazy side project. So the screen itself should help a lot, I think. So we need to create an Android screen buttons class. What it does, it just allocates like 3 objects. Because when you start a new project, you'll have this renderer class. I highly modified mine. Not highly, but I had to draw elements. I didn't use their model class. I added some triangle instancing. I need to add quad instancing. Let's open the Android. Basic screen control. Okay, create for quads. Let's make sure all these objects exist first. It's like these stupid errors. Loading screen, gaming, menu screen, gaming UI speed. And we'll have to also fix the this cross compiling, so it'll cross compile on PC. So we need to add this type of functionality. Character can jump, there's some platforms, there was no UI or text, and then this functionality. So it's like merging two code bases. You can change the text, you can write text to the screen. Pretty simple. It seems simple, but then it's a bunch of just scratch coding. So let's start with this first one, screen gamepad UI interface. First thing we should do is include it. And it's like hard to even figure out what the first thing to do because it has like located in the graphics subfolder. We will need to add this to CMakes file lists. Let's see, let's just add all of them. I believe I'll just name them what the class name is. Like these long names, but they should be long because of the whole like screen in game main menu instance interface. What a name! It could be an abstract class. But let's just make it more modifiable for noobs, because the abstract way of abstract class would be a better thing for noobs, but when noobs see that type of code, they just go pale and blank out. I know, because I went through the same thing. But then, yeah, overriding methods and DLLs and all that. Or if it was just all in one library. What if it wasn't? So the whole abstracting has to be done initially. Something happened here. Why did all that other stuff disappear? I didn't want it to disappear. Oh, this is a different project. Did it crash? No. Yeah, so we can code this in Notepad++. We can code this in Notepad++ simply because it's a lot easier on the IntelliSense. If we don't want IntelliSense, we just like go away. because that's the heart of coding. It's just no IntelliSense. I do want to learn the new Vim and those new Linux stuffs. But I would still go into Linux, I think, and try to install Notepad++. Even if it doesn't exist, just port it over. Probably impossible if it's not ported yet, because it uses Windows paradigm bullshit. Alright. So the basics of this class is that it uses the math library, some little math library I wrote. There's some more math I have in here in a different project. It was a little physics demo thing. And here we have a lot of the other math I might need. It has also button state, button went down, and how they did it more in a C-like fashion. It's just some wall and some spheres, and they just collide, and it's kind of simple. Not going into things like, oh, what was it? I went into yesterday. Now let's take a look here. All the different physics engines we could have. Okay, ABB. Okay, that's just boxes that don't rotate. Sphere, circle. It's pretty simple. It's just like distance formula. Okay, now it gets fun. GJK plus EPA, general convex collisions. Then swept continuous collisions, CCD. Bullets tunneling. Prevents tunneling, so you can't like teleport through objects. Minkowski difference support mapping. General convex very similar to JDK. Spiral hashing. Many objects. Huge speed up for broad phase. Not narrow phase method used before SAT JDK. Broad phase most always used together. Per triangle brute force. Concave or very detailed mixers. Handles anything. Extremely slow unless accelerated. Mostly 3D. Last resort, usually acceleration. Assigns distance field. Smooth, deformable, beautiful, smooth collisions. Expensive to compute, update. Modernized style procedural games. Alright. So, this is just a distraction. It's like, no. This is what happens when you open a math library. You just dive into the physics. So let's just replicate this class. Write the absolute necessary, because there's an update function. Is there a delta time that's being passed? Yeah. And then my phone will die soon, so I'm just gonna make it part 2. What do we do with this? Let's just put in the if-def androids. We have to do it like this, because I might as well just write a different Windows. basic drawing on the gamepad. Alright, so we need to like clone this class really. I don't know why I wrote it like this. Why is there if to have Android graphics? UI Android math. Oh, it's probably because it's trying to include this. My bad. This is supposed to be this. Yeah, it was just like done really quickly. With the thread of a thought. Okay. Let's clone this for a second. Do we want to make the other classes or do we want to work on this? We should just look through this real quick. Alright, so this has the idea. Okay, render main vertices, UV vertices. This is how we push stuff back. Now we need another class. Let's create the main menu or the loading screen. Main menu loaded. Why is there a gamepad UI, main menu loading, and the loading screen? There's like 4 of them, but there's 3. Okay, I'm getting confused here. It's okay though. Okay. The loading screen is in-game main menu interface. Screen game menu. That doesn't make any sense right here. So this should be 4. There's not really many assets to load in this, but it just makes it really stupid. Can't find what is declared. Oh good, it's not even declared anyway. Screen game menu. I have to rename these. Make this called not main menu, screen in-game menu, screen loaded main menu. screen loading. Instance interface. Okay, this is a little more. Once it's loaded, it's going to be in these. I want it to be in the order that it's being loaded here. Yeah, because there's a release, it's a resume or a start event on Android when an application just like gets swept into. So I don't know if that object gets recreated. It's the stupidest thing, just naming things. It's very difficult somehow. And obviously our hammer here is Notepad. While our tractor is Notepad++. Alright, let's make these objects. Do all the formatting in Notepad because it's like fast. Trying to. I like declaring it 0 instead of null because it always works. Going backwards here, but it's not. It's like I'm creating what I'm going to put into the header file right now. I'm just putting the object name, the pointer to it. I'm going to make them pointers. They're not going to be shared at the pointers, but they will be. It's like global objects. really have to put this in the right place. And this is both Android and PC. This is like mandatory code. I wanted to have its own block here inside our renderer. Obviously, we could subclass this again, but it's like, no, we just, okay, that one exists. But we'll have to, let's create these now. We have the gamepad interface, that's the loading interface first. And it's like annoying because it's like, oh, what do I have? A list of interfaces. It's like, no. It's like, it's creating more work for no reason to have more dynamic bullshit. Like the sprite manager, I don't know. Not to have that, or have that, right? I'm gonna just recycle the game screen UI interface I wrote and just really quickly create these files and later start putting in the OpenGL into them. Should kind of clean them up. Later, I think we're going to need to pass some more stuff. Like the gamepad UI interface, we'll need to create the events for screen presses. The loading interface will tell the main menu interface to show. these, I forget what you call them, preprocessor include this only once thing. Just need to be unique. I need one more interface to be made as a file. I have to make a really basic menu at the beginning. I know there's more. It could be also like stuff like that, but Android 24 does not support curl, so we have to try to write this without curl too much. But to log in into Google Play Gameplay Services, we need curl. So that has to be like a separate. So the player stats can be offline and online. Now, without having to write a third one, I would have to go through HTTP or something. Alright, that's enough of this. Avoid overcomplicating the menu. There has to be some sort of like I overcomplicated it. Cool. And I'm never gonna have enough time to figure it all in. Maybe we'll, I don't know. This thing. And game menu instance interface is next. Okay. Let's just do the next one. Let's just get okay, let's just draw it. Health, kills, farts, time. Like, some inventory thing. I was kind of like throwing a lot at it in just the header file, but whatever. Like, make more room there. Like, imagine this is the game screen, and like just drawing it out kind of like on this board. That way it's easier to like code by having like the basic idea here. There could be more basic ideas. Asking, drawing your ideas is also really good, because then you could draw it in paint also. Okay, what do we rename this? Let's do this. Should be the last one. So I'm gonna try not to waste time here. Game from main menu, I'm gonna change this to game menu. In-game menu. It's called. But this is the in-game menu. This isn't the game UI interface. Oh well, it's kind of like the same thing almost. It could be the root class for whatever. Okay. This should compile. After we include everything. Yeah, we're in the Android directory. We need to add it to CMake files. The C++ files, just no header files. That like works automatically or something. Otherly. Okay, whatever. Render.h we need to add. Now, this is a really exciting thing to do. Just like copy paste those 4 first lines. That was like my plan. Just use copy paste to do this. There could be more of these, obviously, but I just want the basics to be basic, and as quick as possible. Like, just make these classes and just code on top of them. And of course it'll turn out to be spaghetti at some point. But that's okay. It's not like it's not spaghetti-ish already. Kind of. Okay, so that's there. Let's see what CMake files that list says. Okay, it has all the stuff we use currently. We don't use a lot of this other stuff currently. We use input devices. Math is just H. Shader Android NG W. I had to make a shader cross-compatible thing or majigger. That was, I think, fun. You have to look at that and fix it. It's like probably this garbage itself. Okay, this. I actually need to add this graphics thing. Resynchronize. Usually it pops up here. Whatever. Let's just like, yeah, it's the pumping warm up. Might as well go and charge my phone. Main menu, loading screen. We don't know about the landscape. We have to go read about the landscape variable of Android. What if they flip the phone and landscape mode is on? Go to Google to search landscape. I wrote something wrong. Alright, this is... we forgot to add this in basic class. It doesn't know what element graphic data is. Crap, and I don't either. It's actually a class to be a generic graphics element. It's like, oh, this is the generic vertices or whatever. It's the connector cord, like your electrical wire. Just your like extension cord, I would say. Your wire between the graphics and the drawing the UI class. It's like, I want a quad. Well, here's a quad, and what it really is called is element graphics data. And it can have like different sizes. It could be a triangle and whatever. So it's supposed to be this dynamic thing to make it like the shortest possible wire route between the graphics and the thing. So we have a button up, so it's a quad, quad, quad. And the problem is, this is where I left off last time and just kind of said, I don't have any more time. Time to shut down the computer. I believe this exists. And it's got a semi-decent definition. I don't want to search for it yet in Android Studio. I want to search for it here to see how good it's defined within this library. A lot of this is just going to be compiling this for both platforms. Alright, so there was just a bulk load of it somewhere. And obviously I have also the third-party stuff sitting in here, so it makes this longer. It's like searching all free type. Later we'll need verbose and also add sound or something. So first we need to just fix all the graphics headaches. Alright, so it exists. It's in graphics. Alright, so we need to take note of this. Inside of this file. I was trying to do this like really basic way, but it's actually like fancy because it would be very easy to work with the UI like this if you know C++. And that if means a lot in there. It means like, oh, abstract conditional associative database, which basically says like, oh, you have to read what the code says and be like, okay. All right, so let's dive into this class. So this has a definition I made really simple. This was done in August. There's this triangle. I believe this wasn't done in August, but I think it was done even like later. But so you would have vertex index, number of vertices, number of indices, and then and the type, just like most generic 3D structure ever. I'm not trying to make it any complicated. There's no add-ons. You're not trying to like do geometric nodes in Blender, even though you could build on top of this. Okay, and then it's a vector, so just add more stuff. It creates graphics. Really simple. That's the goal. So it's a structure that's an array, or a vector, sorry, but same type of. Because vectors are fast, like, but I guess STB is even faster or something. That would be the next upgrade. And so the C++ looks like this. This is all the graphics data. So I guess this is this new sprite manager or something, which is annoying because we need to just get the player character to run around. First, he's just gonna run around, I guess, like this. Then we'll get him to jump. Then we'll get the camera to follow him. Like, that's the boilerplate of how you get this to work. And then you start adding the platforms, and then you start adding the physics or something. It's like, if this takes the whole day, we're not even going to jump into sound or anything else. Yeah. I'm just going to try to fix this here, and then charge the phone a little bit. Take a break. Okay, because generally, this is inside graphics, right? So all we have to really do is just include a file in a .h add include triangle interface thing. I mean, elements interface. There's a triangle interface, and I want to make a quad interface thing. It's kind of good to have all these classes. I think the methodology here is just to render all the indices that are on the GPUs, all the elements, meaning that all the indices, they got pushed onto there, render all of them. That way it's like very simple. There's no calculating, oh, we just need to render this or that. It's just like render it. And all the classes just keep track randomly of all this stuff. That way it's like really simple. It's like, oh, you don't want this feature, just like throw this class out, just throw it away, add a feature, put this class in, and it just controls its own. Can classes control multiple graphics? Yes, but usually you don't need that. That's the thing that's going to cause you all the problems. So why try it? And obviously the game will be centered around that idea. It's going to be like the physics control the physics, and then some other class will push it onto graphics. Is it like this? Is it like that? I think we have to add this to CMake too. Okay, so it's like this. Let's see what we have to add to CMake. Do we even have, I think we have the elements thing. Yeah, this file is going to get really landfillish fast. It's going to turn into like 50 landfills code. Goes ... because I want everything to be included relative. I don't want to have like subdirectories being included. Even though it's sometimes better that way. And we see this Notepad++ file I'm working on right here. So later, when I load up the project, I'll have, or if the computer just decides to have no power, or the energy company. These are some of the callbacks it processes in the background, and it passes it to a generic input class, and then we like loop into it, or hook into it, hook into it. That way we can get the input to be for both from PC and Android, whether it's a Google Play games or a Steam or a just Scratch standalone, all in the same It's not sending me to the right place. Just, I don't like how I did that. This is why editing Notepad++ is so much I'd have to do like both. Android Studio is Visual Studio because your face is C++ and your fate. Well, whatever. This go to declarations of usage. Okay, good. It like recognizes. It's like it does all these stupid things. It's like sitting there parsing all the files. Just the whole file system is just like sitting there fucking spinning the hard drive for no reason. Like, oh, this file exists. What's going on here? It's like it's trying to check up on way too many things you're doing and causing the issues you're trying to avoid. Like I/O collision. Like the biggest problem when doing this. Why is it lagging? And then I press the wrong button, and then this happens, and then. Alright. So this is the first like subclass about all this, and the funny thing is it's the last thing we're gonna load. It's the first thing we're adding. Why? Because this is just somehow adding features works. Okay, so let's see. We have to do a sync project with Gradle files, I believe. Just sync this. It should be popping up right there, but Android Studio is just like really cold today. It like just likes doing random stuff, kind of like Visual Studio. It'll just like decide, you know what, today I'm gonna type for you while you're typing, pasting stuff. That's why I'm afraid to get the new Visual Studio 2026. I feel like I'm just going to get a brick and try to fix electronics with it. They're using massive amounts of pounding force, and that's not going to be any kind of good result. But it'll make me happy. Meaning, they're adding all this bloat that's just really in our way. So we have to sit there and just keep writing this like little teeny bitty code with a lot of concentration, and then the AI is trying to tell us this like hallucinated token generated bullshit. It's like, look at this. If you tell me more about specific use case, solving fast objects, it even sends me an emoji icon. The best thing it has in here is these sources. This is the best thing it did. And just this Excel sheet, kind of like, oh, where do I want to go? Because like ragdolls would be nice, but like doing continuous sweep collision detection is expensive in terms of coding. This seems to be a really good one. And then this one seems to be a really good one. They're all kind of really good. Like this one seems like insanely good. So what if you could have all of them? Oh, then you know, you could spend 10 years perfecting this. But how do you do this really fast? You just learn some basic math and play the game a lot. So it's kind of like the opposite of what it'll tell you to do. Alright, this is almost ready. Let's try to compile this on the PC side. Let's see where it's like. We have some other things to fix here. We have to be fixing this like double code. So there's issues because we have asset manager. Okay, so we added that twice. So compiling this on PC is like relatively faster, because when we add files, we don't have to do the whole synchronization bullshit through Gradle that runs Java, that runs CMake, that it's just like a garbage workflow. We have to fix text renderer class now for PC since we fixed it for Android. Render.h has duplicate definitions to add main menu. Oh, what a problem. And it's not this one. This is like the main file for PC, and then there's a main file. This one for Android. It's the Android main. And this has int main. It could be, I think I need to change this to win main. Oh no, it is a win main because it's using glfw. So it's not just a win, no, it is a main. It could be a win main, and it could be a, yeah, I would have to try to compile this on Linux in order to use it main. Alright, let's just not think about that for a minute. Go to render.h. Yeah, like making a borderless window and this other, and like changing the settings of maximizing it. Like you need that on PC, but you don't need that on okay, add test objects. Who calls? I want to really erase this from here. Okay, let's just do that. And we need to open render.c++, because renderers really are super class here. Okay, so we never call these guys in render, do we? Like, do we call add main menu? No. Or do we call add text objects? Let's just do that right now. Like, okay. After add test objects, add a loader screen. Even though this might have to be done some other way, but at least we have a way to disable it and inject it somewhere else. Which I don't think will be required. It'll just be called whenever Android main on resume gets called. And Android's had this for like ever. I think iPhone also does. The thing I'm talking about is going back to this main.cpp file. When handle command in Android gets on resume or something, Android main awake. I thought it was in here. Yeah, but I think it is. We have to look at a different Android main function. window is being destroyed. Command init. Yes, just render just gets created. This stupid user data thing is just like garbage. Be like really careful with this. That's what it says right here. It's like, oh yeah, you did it. And it's just like random pointer and just change it on the main class. I guess that's the way to do things. Just ask Gemini here real quick. How to tell in C++ Android game activity if it's on resume or on start for a app. Run this code. See what it says. An Android indicating the app, which I was life cycle, it's like on start, on resume, on pause, and on stop. Yeah, so this is like your basics of a mobile app. It like has an operating system called Android. You can check out the source code, and then it will, yeah, see, handle command is supposed to have these two. Command start, command on resume, handle on pause music, handle pause music, stop, window init. So like we're missing these, aren't we? Visibility versus interaction. So like what would we have to do? Would we have to do like if app data, interpret cast, and then just tell